Welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm gonna be showing how to replace your rear shocks on a it's gonna be 2011 to pretty much 2019 Ford Fiesta. This one here is a 2013 though. Stay tuned.
Music bed.
So this is the shocks that we're going to be replacing on the rear. These are from Rock Auto. Not very expensive from them. It's FCS Auto, so we'll see how they... I'm sure they're better than the factory ones here. So let me show you. Just with one hand, you can see how much the car jumps up and down. I looked underneath, the shocks are really full of oil. I think they're completely blown out. And I'll show you here in a moment, but what happens is the car, any bump, it bounces and it feels like it's gonna lose control because it makes the rear, with it jumping back and forth, it makes it unstable. So when you hit a bump, you kind of feel it, shimmy on the back. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but we're gonna find out once we change them. We'll take it for a drive. I know for a fact though, any bump you hit, you can just feel it bounce a few times. I'm gonna go ahead and get the jack on the back, put some jack stands just to get it off the ground. There's just one bolt on the bottom, and then I'll open the trunk and get the plastic smoothed. I'll show you guys that. But it should be pretty straightforward. Let's get started. Alright, so to go ahead and get to the upper shock on the rear on these, you do have to remove your tire and wheel to get to the shroud or to the cover, to the wheel liner. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove both sides, and then we'll remove the wheel liner from the car. Okay, so once you take the wheel and tire off here on the back, we have to remove, the wheel liner here. So I'm gonna get some pliers. And I'm putting some cardboard. There's some water here. It was raining outside, but just the clip plier, so we can take these clips off. You can use like a screwdriver. Hopefully none of these break, so we don't have to find new ones. So these ones are just the ones that you pull the middle off or back, and then you pull the whole thing out. And then it looks like on the rest here, it's got these metal ones. There's the little pins that stick off the car, and these just kind of go over there. So not too bad to take this one off. Guess as long as the little plastic tab doesn't break, because then I don't know if you can get these. Never really seen these before. Okay, and got one more right here. All right, and then the liner is kind of on this little tab here, so you just undo it from there. We should be able to just pull it completely out. All right. Everything looks okay under here, I guess. Really not looking for anything particular. So we got the 2 bolts up here. Those look like they're 10 millimeter. And the bottom bolt here, that looks pretty small, so that might be a 15. So let me grab that. Now it's pretty tight, so let me get a ratchet. So you don't have to get inside of the trunk. Looks like everything's done from out here. I am gonna clean the car afterwards, so I have to get all those pieces off the trunk, but no need for the shocks here. So the nut on the bottom of the shock here is so I'll show you here. It's welded on, so you really only need to get on the back. You don't need a wrench to hold this unless yours is broken off, but so that makes it easier to take off there. So we just have to get on the back. It wasn't too terribly tight or anything, so not bad at all. We'll take this bolt off. Should be able to just move that out of the way there. And then I'm gonna get the 10 millimeter, which we should be able to take that off the top. And it would help if we go the right way on this one. So this is not too tight, so not too bad at all. Alright, it looks like the bolts have some Loctite on the top one, so we'll make sure to add a little bit of Loctite. I'm just holding the shock here. This is the bolts that are in there. Does not look like these shocks have been replaced. And like I mentioned before, they definitely needed to be replaced probably a while back. So, all right. So the thing's just gonna come out like this. So at this point, we can go ahead and take this, looks like a 10 millimeter, take that off, and then we should be able to slide the new shock in there. I'm guessing that we'll reuse all of this. The mount looks okay, the bushing, so. But as you can see, this shock is really non-existent there anymore. So I need to get a deep socket on here. And that's just because of the stud on the shock. So now what happens is the shock's gonna turn, so I got a wrench here, and then I'm gonna get this crescent wrench and just hold the stud while I take the nut off. If you're using an impact, you know, the speed of the impact might just take it right off without you having to worry about it, but since I'm not doing that, then I went ahead and held it. So this is the part that we're gonna reuse. I'm just gonna look in there. Looks all right. Yeah, it's actually pretty clean. So it's just a shock that's full of dirt and from the oil probably where it leaked. So I'm gonna leave that there for now. I'm gonna get the new one and see. This is the new shock. Does come with the new nut. This has a nylon washer on it, so we'll use the new one. I mean, this is got a lot of pressure on it to push it down, and I mean it's stiff. Compared to this one, I mean it's like a little spring in there, but there's nothing. You can see, I mean, there's actually, you can see it collapses all the way. It has a little bit of pressure, but really nothing. Where this one-handed, I mean, I really have to put a lot of pressure on it. So let me see. Does not look like, I probably need to put this cap on this one here. This one was more like a cover, looks like. This one has a metal cover, but this one don't. Let's take a look here. Actually, there we go. So there's like a little lip right in here, and that goes right in there. So we'll put that in there just because that's how the old one was. Cool. We get this nut started. Now this is not going to be a 10 millimeter no more, so I'm going to get a different wrench. And this is a 1/2 inch. And so same thing, I'm gonna put my crescent wrench here to hold the shock, the little stud, while I tighten this up. Okay, so that's it, pretty much. Now the little bit hard part is gonna be squeezing this to get on the bottom bolt. But no big deal. I mean, we can always put like a jack. We should be able to, oops, not pulling that, but we should be able to push it in and then guide it in there. So let me mount it on the top, get some Loctite for those 2 bolts, and then we'll work backwards. Went ahead and put the Loctite in those bolts, so get them back out. All right. Went ahead and got those on there. And then now we have to get this bottom one. So it's not too far off here. I just got to lift it up a little bit. And what I'm going to do is get a screwdriver here. Or actually even this pry bar. And I can just this helps me kind of push it in there. So they went ahead and not too bad. Once you get that bolt in there, then you can push it in. Really small springs here on the back. I mean, car must not weigh too much on the back, so I can imagine with those chocks being bad like they were, no wonder it seemed like it was moving from the back. Went ahead and turn this up pretty good there. And that's pretty much it on this side. So I'll go ahead and actually, before I put everything together, I'm going to get some brake cleaner. We're already in here. I do see a little bit of like oil residue, probably from where the shock leaked. You know, we'll just clean that a little bit there. Really, I mean, not necessary, but why not? Okay. I can get my liner and then start putting it back in here where it was. We have those little plastic pieces sticking out everywhere. And then these should just be able to push right in. Pretty cool clips. I guess it's nice design. Just once you put them in and then push in the pins. All these other ones, you just line them up with that little plastic piece and push them right in. So pretty straightforward. Looks like I'm missing one more right in here. All right, so that's it on this driver's side. I'm gonna move to the other side and then we'll do the other side as well. All right, we're on the passenger side here. So same thing, once you remove your tire, gonna go ahead and start removing this plastic clips here on the liner. There we go, and then this metal clips. I thought those were gonna be the hardest, but quite honestly, they're not too bad if you have some of these kinds of pliers, I guess, but they pop right out. Just put your hands kind of in front so they don't go too far. Like that one there. Okay, so once you have all your clips off, let's take this liner out. Pretty straightforward. We'll get our 15 millimeter, take off our bolt. And you can also tell when your chocks are bad, all the oil that leaks out of them. You can see this one here, really full of oil, so. Get the bolt out, and then you should be able to just pull it out of the way, especially with the bad one. Doesn't have any pressure. We'll take the 10 millimeter and get this bolt off the top. Get that one. Get the other bolt here, pull it down. So, like I was mentioning, there's a bunch of oil residue, and I mean, same thing on this one. It's just nothing left on the actual shock itself. So, gonna go ahead and get the piece taken off here, and then we'll put the new one in. Okay, so I have here the shock, the new shock here. So I'm gonna, same thing, loosen this top nut. And then I'll use my crescent wrench to hold the shock. Take this nut off. But yep, so this shock, same thing. This has maybe a little bit more, but you can see it just stays in, so really not too much better than the other one. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this part here because it's full of oil from that shock, and even the inside here, it's really dirty here. So we'll try to clean as much as we can here. it's not too bad here. Once I cleaned it was more on the edge that it was full of oil, but now this rubber piece, I mean, this mount is good. You can buy a new one if yours is bad, but let's just check it. This top piece too, that went on the shock, I'm gonna clean it. I'll go ahead and pop it in here. There we go. Then we'll put this new nut on the top. No Loctite on that one. It has the nylon end, so that's gonna, you know, make it not get loose. But go ahead and hold the shock here with the crescent wrench and tighten up this nut here on top. Once this nut tightens up quite a bit, you'll have to get it kind of with the front of the wrench, because it goes into the mount a little bit, so then you can't really use the ratcheting side. But you should have enough grip to be able to tighten it up pretty good. There we go. And you get both those bolts here, put some Loctite. And I'm just using the blue, which is what was in there before. And then we'll go ahead and get this back in the car. Okay. And then I'm gonna get my brake cleaner and clean this bottom bracket here a little bit. This side had a lot more oil around that shock. Maybe because the other side had leaked a long time ago, so it was kind of dry by now, but this one, the actual shock was kind of wet. And then I'm gonna use my pry bar just to get this shock in there. There we go. all tightened up. We're good to go. So I'm gonna spray some brake cleaner here on this side as well, just to clean this off just a little bit. Another thing that I did on the other side was just take the brake drum off and clean off the brakes. Just since I was here, just kind of check the pads or the shoes, I guess, since they're drum brakes. But just to make sure, I already have the tire off and everything, so you know, you can just pull your drum off. Clean this off. This is not really part of doing your rear shocks, so you know you don't really have to do this part, but you might as well check everything here. You know, you work at a shop, this is kind of part of, you should do these things just to check, right? If you need new shoes, then at that point you can tell your customer, hey, you know, I checked the shoes, they're worn out. Give them a price. They might say, you know what, just go ahead and take care of it since you're right there. They might say no, but you know, you never know, I guess. So alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and put this liner back in. Line up all those little pins. And then put all this push tabs back in, this metal clips. And if you're working on your own car, well, it's also good to know, hey, you know, how are my brakes doing? Do I need to change those out next? Or... Anyways, that's it. Pretty simple job to do your rear shocks in a Ford Fiesta. You know, just check if it's bouncing. That's probably what it is. But other than that, thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below. Subscribe to our channel. We'll see you in the next one.